Hi, welcome. And in this video, I'm going to speak with you about a couple of tips that I have for people starting with meditation and also those who have been doing it for a while. My name is Ace, and I've been doing this for a while, like actually since maybe 10 years ago or so, although in a very dedicated way for a couple of years. I'm also a certified, meditation teacher and a bunch of other things. And I'm right now running my business, helping people unlock the full power of their mind. So if you're interested in that, go to gmindglife.com, check out what we're all about, because, we help people basically unlock the power of their unconscious mind, which is very, very powerful. So one part of the system that we have in place is meditation. And I know that right now meditation has a lot of basically a lot of buzz around it, because unlike a lot of other modalities, unlike a lot of other practices that we have, this one is studied, and it's studied properly, unlike something like hypnosis, which is studied in very stupid ways often. It's studied well, and the results are very clear that it works, that it helps so many different things. So luckily, a lot of people are doing it, but there's also a lot of confusion about how it should be done. And I think that a lot of the time people are being held back by these, false assumptions about how it should be done that get in the way of actually doing the thing. So my aim is to give you kind of the basics of how it should be done, in my opinion, some things that can help you, some things that you may find very useful. And I'm hoping that you'll find it very valuable, and curious to hear your opinion on it and how it helps you. So let me know in the comments, and like it if you like it, so more people find this, because this is the first video on our channel and I aim to make a lot more. And part of why I did this is because I found on Facebook, somebody asked like, okay, I'm just starting meditation, what should I do? And when I said, just one of the tips I'm about to give here, I told them about how to treat the thoughts that come and go and the posture that they should have, just two of the tips here. A few people said like, wow, that's really great. And if you have more tips, just share it, please. Somebody said that. So here it is. These are some of my tips for now. So the first one is stay in the golden zone, which means make sure it's challenging enough that it's interesting to you, but at the same time that it's not so challenging that it's frustrating. And the very first place where this becomes evident is in the length of your meditation session. So don't go starting right away with 10 minutes or 30 minutes. I heard somebody saying, I meditated yesterday for 30 minutes and it was a bit difficult. They had done it for the first time. And it's just that, well, you don't have to start with 30 minutes. You can start with less time and slowly build up, in a way that it becomes like an enjoyable journey, an enjoyable challenge. So don't go straight away to the most difficult, and at the same time, if 1 minute is super easy for you, don't stay there. So if 1 minute is where you start having, like thoughts like, oh, I just want to get up. This is boring. This is too hard. Not this is boring actually, but this is too hard. Or you might say it's boring. A thought might say that, but actually you notice that you just want to jump up and do something. In that case, just stick with a minute. The next time, maybe do 2. The next time, maybe you do 3. Then maybe you do 3 again for a while until you become used to that. Just start wherever you are and build up from there. That's my first tip. The second tip I have for you is to set an intention before you meditate. And this helps you basically and setting an intention doesn't mean that you basically are micromanaging or something, right? It's just that you kind of have an idea of what you may want to have after this meditation. It can be as simple as I'd like to be more relaxed, or I would like to have more awareness, or I would like to grow more spiritually. And the more specific you get about it, the better. So how do you want to grow specifically? Okay. Because this gives you kind of something to focus on. This kind of locks your inner mechanism in on that. There's this thing called your RAS, your reticular activation system. There may also be other mechanisms in place that make this happen, but basically, if you know where you're going, you're much more likely to get there. So the second tip I have for you is to set an intention for yourself. And if you involve other people in it in a way that you notice that it's giving them also power, even better. It's like, I want to be able to focus better so that I can create amazing products and services for a lot of people, or I want to be more present so that I can enjoy my life more and also my family can enjoy life more. Something like that. Now, the next tip I have for you, super, super awesome tip, is to take a few breaths before you start, right? And exhale twice as long as the inhale. You inhale for 3, for example, and you exhale for the count of 6. What this does is it lets your nervous system go into the rest and digest mode. And another really cool thing you can do is to just allow yourself to become aware of what you see in your peripheries, right? So you're not just focusing on one thing, you're kind of openly aware of all that is going on around you. At the same time, exhaling longer than the inhale, approximately twice as long. This puts you in the alpha brainwave state. So the beta brainwave state is like very focused on one thing, and that's where we spend most of the day anyway. And I have found that if you put yourself in the alpha state before you start, it's extremely helpful. So I suggest you experiment with this. Fourth tip I have for you is about your posture. Just realize that you don't need to sit in a certain posture. You can actually sit in any posture that you like, okay? Now, laying down on the floor or the bed especially might not be such a good idea for certain people because you may fall asleep. But even then, like a lot of people love, like I have done this as well, like laying down on the floor and just putting my legs up on the wall. It's become so incredibly relaxing. And so there's really no rules about your posture. You don't have to sit in full lotus. You don't have to sit in half lotus. You don't have to sit in any pose. Certain meditations may recommend you sit in certain postures, but still, really take this mindset of whatever you do, it's better than nothing. So if you sit on a chair and do it, it's better than if you try to sit in full lotus and, God forbid, injure yourself. Don't sit in full lotus before you're ready for it, right? Even I don't sit in full lotus, by the way. Don't sit in easy pose if it bothers your knees. Don't think that you have to sit in this or that way. If it's just easier for you to sit on a chair and do it, go for it. If it's even easier to just cross one leg up on the knee of the other one, I suggest you don't put your knees on top of each other. I suggest you put the ankle of one leg on the knee of the other. It's just better for your posture, but for your biomechanics and all, that's what I recommend you do. Keep it again comfortable, keep it convenient so that you can actually return to it and enjoy it, so that it's something that you enjoy. Another tip I have for you, which is a big one, so this is number 5, I think, right, is that having thoughts is completely fine. So you're not trying to repress thoughts, you're not trying to push them away. And the point isn't like some people say, I always have thoughts, I just can't meditate. You are supposed to have thoughts. That's the point of meditation. That's like saying, no, I can't do yoga because I'm not flexible, right? You do yoga so that you become flexible. So the challenges are part of the journey. And especially having thoughts come in is not even that challenging. I mean, most people have thoughts coming in all the time. The reason that they get frustrated is because in that context, they think having thoughts is a bad thing because they're aware of what is happening as well. Well, having thoughts is part of it, okay? The point is just that you don't chase after thoughts. And hey, even if you end up chasing after a thought unconsciously, when you become aware of it, you let go and you just return to what you were aware of earlier. And that's it. You don't have to get frustrated every time you have a thought. You don't have to have this goal in your mind that the goal is to have a totally clear mind. No, let the thoughts come to you. Just let it come to you and just observe it. Like they say clouds moving in the sky. Right? That's one way to look at it. You don't need to, feel anything less than positive when thoughts come in. You just keep on observing, but you just don't chase, you don't react to it, right? And if you do, no problem. You just bring yourself back to what you were aware of earlier, whatever you were doing, whatever is the point of the meditation you're doing. It's all part of the journey. Again, 6 tip I have for you is still have fun and enjoy yourself. The more you have fun, the better. Okay, enjoy yourself. No more, a lot of the time people are just coming at everything in life from this place of desperation and frustration and pushing things, and making themselves uncomfortable. And you don't have to make meditation that way. There are types of meditation that are very uncomfortable in some ways, and even those you have to find, in my opinion, you find comfort in them at some point, right? But I doubt those are the types of meditation anyone here is doing, right? So either way, just enjoy yourself, just have fun and just chill. It um, doesn't have to always be so serious, always be something that you have to get all worked up about, right? It can just be fun. It can just be something you enjoy. Next tip is, you don't have to start again with a set time. And I think this goes back to the first one that I said, keep it challenging, but keep it something that is also sweet and easy and you can keep going. Yeah, that's what's the first tip that I gave you as well. Um, and remember also, there's no one way to meditate, okay? There are many ways. Get comfortable, experiment, enjoy, have fun. And this is why I also love actually teaching people a bunch of different meditations. Like if you come to my one-on-one program, I'm going to teach you 5 different meditations at the very start. And I'm going to stress the fact that, okay, 2 of them are very important, but, just play with all of them. And I think this is important because, like, even for myself, at different times of day, on different days, I like to do different meditations. I just go with what feels right to me. Just like in a toolbox, you don't just have a hammer. If you do just have a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? So you can actually go out there, learn different meditations, and just notice what your inner self tells you. Notice what comes from your unconscious. And the unconscious mind, which is actually it knows you much better than you think you know yourself. It is actually the real you in many ways. It communicates with you through your body feelings, right? So if you feel very frustrated about a type of meditation, it doesn't mean you have to, hammer it and basically make yourself do it. It's good to have discipline, but at the same time, there is an art to it. You have to flow with what your unconscious gives you, right? And really, your unconscious knows you even better. And again, if you come to my program, what we do is we train you how to really work with your own unconscious so that you get the results that you want, right? And you'll realize a lot of time what you think you want is not what you really want because your unconscious actually knows you better. But this is a very subtle thing, and you have to really make that connection, create that, rapport, create that connection with your unconscious mind. Because a lot of us just have forgotten all about it, and we're living, for other people and based on social conditioning and things like this. And it's a shame, but it is what it is, right? So just, go out there, experiment, find different ways of meditating. You don't have to stick with just one meditation. And if you find out that instead of like focusing on your breath, you just want to feel what happens in your body. Or if you feel like instead of focusing on what happens in your body, you want to just look at a candle, gaze at the candle. Maybe at some point you just want to lose yourself in the activity that you're doing rather than necessarily sitting down and meditating. These are all ways of meditating, okay? There's not this one thing that you have to do unless you decide to and dedicate yourself to it, okay? And you can completely do that, and you probably will at some point if you want to go down that path. It will feel right. But just know that meditation doesn't have to be this strict. There's only one way to do it. Follow your breath and That's the only way, So just go learn different types of meditating and see what you like, freestyle sometimes as well. Like I said, okay, we'll get to this one later. Okay. But moving on to the next one. When thoughts come to you, again, be aware and gently bring your attention back to what you are doing, what your meditation is about. So be very gentle. Again, don't don't react. Instead, just be very gentle. It's like an example I read in a book at some point was like, it's like a dog and you gently bring it back. Or you can imagine it's like a very curious child that like wants to walk all around. You gently grab their hand and say, hey, come with me, right? Imagine all that love that you would have towards your own children and treat your own mind just like that. Don't get all frustrated. Like have some tolerance, have some love for your mind. I mean, look at all the good things that it does for you, right? So just be cool to it, be kind to it. My next tip to you is to set some time aside for it. Okay, if you don't schedule it, you probably won't do it. So I suggest you put some time aside in the morning and in the afternoon. With certain types of meditation at night, it might keep you up, but again, up to you. But definitely put some time aside in your schedule. And I suggest you do it twice a day and definitely once after waking up is a good idea because it sets the tone for the rest of the day. And if you can, don't set an alarm. Just look at your watch or the stopwatch that you have and track the time that way. And only set the alarm for when you absolutely have to, So if you're going to meditate for 5 minutes, maybe set the alarm for 15 minutes because maybe you decide to stay a bit longer. Maybe you want to just experience that. Another thing I want to tell you is allow it all to be done in a very gentle way, okay? So we don't want this like single, like laser point focus in many types of meditation. In some of them, maybe we do, but in a lot of them, we don't. And I recommend that you actually practice this open way of being aware of things. You see, when we were like hunting in the woods or picking fruits or farming or anything else than what we are doing now pretty much, we would have to use our peripheral vision, be aware of different things. And this brings me back also again to what I said earlier, that if you do that, you automatically go more into alpha brainwave state. So just, allow your awareness to kind of resemble that. It doesn't have to be that you focus like you're trying to solve a very important problem or you're focusing on the task at hand, which gets very frustrating very quick. That's the beta brainwave state. Be more in the alpha state, which is like just open, relaxed, calm awareness. Okay. And you do that again with your attitude towards things. And that's another reason why I say have fun. It's another reason why I say, be aware of your surroundings. And also, keeping your eyes open gently has this added benefit that you can actually tap into that peripheral vision. So you may also want to experiment meditating with your eyes open. And so that's my next tip also, right? And yeah, by the way, realize that also thoughts coming up is fine. Sometimes thoughts are useful, especially if there's a purpose to it. So you can actually take the time to like sit down and use your mind, your cognition. Maybe like for 10 minutes, for 30 minutes, I'm going to strategize. I'm going to think about something in a very focused way all the way. I recommend you do that. That's you using the machine instead of the machine using you or running itself, which just doesn't work so well. Okay. At least with the conditioned mind, it doesn't work so well anymore. Okay. And when you have a thought, just realize that if you let it digest fully, if you don't have another thought right away, then it can also be good. So allow yourself to be mindful, just be with whatever happens, observe. Don't repress the thoughts. Okay, the point isn't repressing, the point is observing and being with your awareness. When you observe the mind, just by observing what is happening, the mind, your own body, whatever, when you observe stuff, you actually bring order into it. through the light of your consciousness. So a lot of things just resolve themselves right away. So just be there, observe. And remember, you can enjoy, you can freestyle different types of meditation. It doesn't have to be one type of meditation you do. And let it become a natural part of what you do. So it doesn't have to be that you meditate and then you get to the rest of the work that you do. You can let this meditation and this attitude of awareness and being present and being mindful carry over into the rest of your day. And I really think that this is how it should be, you know. And I say should be as in this is what's most useful in my opinion. But actually bring that attitude, that awareness, that mindfulness throughout everything else we do. Let it, again, carry over into everything else we do. And I recommend that to you. And also I recommend people to, you know, become sort of aware of what is going on inside. Become aware of what's coming up from their own unconscious. Become aware of everything that is coming to them so that they can have a dialogue with that part of themselves and find themselves and their true purpose in life and make the best of what they have in this time on earth, you know. And that's what I do with my one-on-one coaching clients. So if you're interested, join me. We can have a free consulting call and find out what's the best way to give you the most value possible. And I have limited seats at the time of making this recording because I have some stuff to do for my studies. I have to write a dissertation at the same time. So there are limited seats, but get in touch with me, and either way, you know, we can work something out. Maybe I can add you to the group and then work with you later when I actually have time to do that. So if you're interested in this, let me know. And it's very groundbreaking stuff. It's very mind-blowing stuff. And as far as I know, it hasn't been done anywhere else in this way. So just let me know what you think about this video. And if you wanted some specific help with anything, let me know and leave a comment and let me know how you like it. And like it if you like it, and subscribe. See you.